consistently attract soulmate clients, begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalyn Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to another awesome episode. I'm so honored to have you choose to listen to my podcast. If you do enjoy this episode, please do leave a review. Take a screenshot of this podcast and shout me out on social media so that more people can know about this. On Instagram, it's Bold Sexy Warrior, and Facebook, it's Rosalyn Fung Coaching, Bold Sexy Warrior. It would mean the world to me for you to take a few minutes to share and review this episode, as I would love to spread more love and consciousness to the collective. So let me ask you, are you struggling with finding the balance between your work life and home life? What does spirituality have to do when it comes to making money? And do you want to learn what the 7 pillars of abundance are? Of course you do. You're nodding your head. You better be. So that you can start to elevate your own abundance. So today, my special guest and one of my soulmate clients, Rebecca Whitman, and I are going to be jamming on answering these questions. She is a success mentor, graduate with honors from Princeton University, and author of the book, How to Make a 6-Figure Income Working Part-Time. She's the host of the Balanced, Beautiful, Abundant podcast, which I recently just was so fortunate and blessed to be a guest on as well. You guys gotta go listen to that episode. She has also been a top producing salesperson in every industry, from automotive, health, beauty, and the performing arts. She is multi-talented. She's trained and managed sales teams to record-breaking success. Rebecca also has acted in television, film, and commercials. Told you she's multi-talented. She has studied with some of the great spiritual teachers of our time, like one of my faves, Marianne Williamson, Abraham Hicks, and Michael Beckwith, who I also so love. And in her workshops and coaching, Rebecca combines metaphysical teachings, 12-step recovery, and business savvy to help people get extraordinary results. Her philosophy divides life into 7 pillars of abundance, which you're going to learn about. She helps people achieve balance within these 7 areas so they can experience more fun, flow, and freedom in life. Rebecca has been interviewed by primetime network news shows and the hit streaming show Good Morning LA. Is that La La Land? La La Land. Okay. She has been featured on popular radio talk shows like The Where Show by Lisa Guerre, The Source, and Late Night Health. In addition, speaking of multiple worldwide podcasts, she has shared virtual stages with great thought leaders like Grant Cardone, Jack Canfield, and we have this in common, Les Brown. Amazing! Hi, welcome, love. I'm so glad you're here.
Hi, Rosalyn. It's so great to be on your show.
Oh, we are going to have such a powerful show today with our energy. So you guys, this comes with a warning. You might just get activated into multiple soulgasms. So Rebecca, please do share with us your story and how you got to be doing what you're doing today. We really want to hear about your soul mission.
Absolutely. So I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, And I had the perfect family, or so it seemed on the outside. My dad was a psychiatrist, my mom was a housewife, and I was a nationally ranked tennis player by the age of 8. So I was taught at a very early age that you have to perform to be worthy of love. And I was a performer. I got good grades. I got into Princeton University. I was popular, and everything looked great on the outside. When I graduated from Princeton with honors, I moved to New York City and I started applying for jobs, and I was shocked to find out that I can only get unpaid internships because I was like, I just invested, or my parents invested $100,000 in an Ivy League education, and I have to work for free. And I was not willing to do internships. So I answered an ad in the newspaper, and it said, circle me. So I thought, oh my God, that's fate. I meant to circle this ad. And it said that you can become a millionaire in 5 years selling these products. And I thought, oh my God, this is so cool. I was only 22 years old living in New York City. So I started in the network marketing industry. I did not become a millionaire in 5 years, Rosalyn, but I did get to attend many, many trainings. I spent about every other weekend in 2-day trainings where I was studying self-made millionaires, literally people who had gone from rags to riches and studying, what they did. And because I was studying it at such a young age, it really stuck with me. So in the back of my mind, I always had the dream of wanting to be an actress, and I believe that you should go for your dreams. So after the network marketing ended, I did have a stint at car sales. Yes, I sold Fords. So that was interesting, but that worked. I applied the principles that I learned in network marketing to selling cars, and soon I was the top producer and the only woman on that sales team selling Fords in Jacksonville, Florida, of all places.
Wow.
So I know Jacksonville, Florida, you probably don't know, but there's this saying, the further north you go, the further south you get. So it was like a total culture shock. It was like being in the deep south. And
Girl, that is something to really like. Yes, I'm going to say bragging rights for that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. People would be like, what's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this, right? It's like, but that was really an experience. And then what happened was I ended up not answering an ad. There was like an ad on the internet, and it was monster.com. I don't even know if it's still around. And it was a sales position in another part of Florida in West Palm Beach. And basically, the person who hired me did a search for Princeton University, Florida, and sales, and I came up. So I took that job. I started making like $300,000 a year. I was in my 20s. The company went out of business, and I said, oh my God, I'm going to move to LA, and I'm going to pursue my dream of acting. I had plenty of money in the bank. I moved to LA. And being an actress, Rosalyn, was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I did not become an overnight star. I took a lot of classes. I went on a lot of auditions. I did have small parts on pretty epic shows like Friends, CSI, and 24, which people love all those shows.
That is so cool.
But what happened was I was able to find a very part-time sales job working in the children's acting school industry. And I thought this will be perfect because I'll be around kids, I'll be around the acting industry, and I'll have a very flexible schedule so I can go out and audition. And because I had so much free time, I started studying with these great spiritual teachers. I started attending Agape, where Reverend Michael Beckwith was the officiant. I started going to Marianne Williamson lectures and listening to Abraham Hicks. I still listen every morning. So I was really like sculpting my soul because I wasn't getting the acting results I wanted, and I had all this free time. So what happened was I thought that getting married was going to like solve all my problems. And I was like forcing a square peg into a round hole. So I was like 39 years old. I was like, I've got to get married like tomorrow, because if I want to have kids, I have to be married by the time I'm 40. So I married someone that I probably would not have married if I met them when I was 22. But I had the gift of desperation. So I ignored all the red flags and I married this guy. And it was really, really painful. I still was doing my acting. I still was doing, my part-time job where I was able to make 6 figures working part-time at the kids' acting school business. That's the title of my book. But what happened was I was watching my marriage just unravel. We were only married for 3 years, and it was just really painful. And we started seeing a therapist. And at the same time as my marriage was unraveling, my dad was dying. So literally the two paralleled each other. So my dad was like rotting away in a nursing home as my marriage was dying at the same time. And it was really painful because I would fly back and forth to Cincinnati, Ohio from LA, and the marriage was just not good. So I remember sitting in a therapist's office, and this was a real turning point for my life. And she just looked at me point blank with my ex-husband in the room. And she said, "Rebecca, what do you want? Do you want to be married?" And all of a sudden, this voice came through me. It didn't even feel like my voice. And I said, "I want a life of ease, grace, and spiritual dignity. Whatever that looks like, I'm totally cool with that. I don't even care anymore about marriage, about looking good, about having, an acting career. I just wanted a life of ease, grace, and spiritual dignity." So what happened was I finally let go of like that white knuckling way of living, of having to like make this marriage work, of having to make everything work and look good. And I let go. And soon after that, my dad died. And soon after that, my divorce was finalized. And it was really interesting because on my dad's deathbed, he asked me to write something. He's like, "I don't care if you write an essay, an article for a magazine, a blog, just write something because you have a really interesting worldview." And I didn't know what to write, but I believe that God speaks through other people. So I was open and I was listening for signs, and I was sitting in my financial planner's office. And as I do everywhere, I'm wearing yoga clothes, and he's looking at my portfolio, and I'm worth over $1 million. And he's like, "Why don't you write a book on how you can like roll in here in workout clothes and your portfolio continues to grow? I think that would really benefit people." And I'm like, you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to write about. I am going to call my book How to Make a 6-Figure Income Working Part-Time. And when I looked at how I was doing it, Rosalyn, I realized that even though my dad was dying, even though I was having a divorce, I was thriving in my life. I was centered, I was abundant, I was healthy, I was actually happy because I had alignment in these 7 pillars of abundance. I had my spiritual life in order, my physical fitness, my emotional life. My romantic life was taking a hit, but that's okay. You can't have all areas at a level 10 at the same time. But romance is another pillar of abundance, mental life, social life, and finally financial. And when you have all these 7 pillars in alignment, or if at least you're aware of them and working on them, you can have financial abundance. You can manifest your soulmate, which I did 1.5 years after my divorce. Now I'm 2 years into the most beautiful relationship of my life, and there's ease, grace, and spiritual dignity. There's no fighting. There's no name calling. It's all just beautiful. And it's because I've been living into these 7 areas.
Thank you so much. There were so many amazing moments in your story. This is a really powerful story that I had to hold myself back and wait till this is done and be like, okay, I want to go back. Thank you so much for sharing this. And for those of you that are listening, I really want you to reflect on what is standing out for you the most. There were a couple pieces that really stood out for me. Number one, the fact that I feel like they're your anomaly, and maybe I'm wrong because I don't know much about the performing actor, actress world, But you hear about the quote unquote starving actor and then having to be a server to make it happen, or like as they're supporting themselves. And your story was completely a different perspective. So that I found that really fascinating. Again, can you confirm if that is
so that is typical.
True? That is typical. Okay.
The starving artist. And I made a decision because I'm a Capricorn. I like the finer things in life. I was like, I'm going to pursue acting, but I don't feel like you have to be a starving actor. I don't feel like life is all or nothing. It's both and. Like, you don't have to be a starving actor and then pursue your craft. You can have an abundant, beautiful lifestyle and pursue your craft. So yeah, it's a totally different paradigm. And that's what I like to do. I like to look at society's paradigms and see if they actually fit for me and try them on. And if I don't, I switch. And that was a gift from really buying into, you go to school and you get good grades, and if you're perfect and you get straight A's and you're going to make money, and that doesn't really work, because I realized when I graduated from Princeton and got straight A's, I was only offered free internships. So that really kind of got me thinking, like, what paradigms am I actually buying into, and what do I need to figure out for myself?
Oh, so powerful. We are actually going to head into commercial really soon here, but I want to come back and talk about the other big points that really stood out so that we can flow into the 7 pillars of abundance.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM. Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Life is a flow, and enlightenment is simply harmonizing with the way life really is. Then you find that life is effortless, benevolent, and free of all suffering. Hey everyone, this is GP Walsh, and I want to invite you to my brand new radio show that's launching right here on OMTimes Radio called The Flow of Enlightenment. I've been a spiritual teacher for decades, and my greatest pleasure is being able to share with you these deep and highly practical spiritual ideas. So join me in The Flow every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and let yourself be transformed.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, loves. So, Rebecca, what really stood out for me as well when you were sharing your story was when the therapist asked, "What do you want?" And you said, "I want ease, grace, and spiritual dignity." So, there were a couple things I wanted to really highlight and zoom in around this is how incredibly powerful, and I really want to highlight this for the audience, how incredibly powerful it is when we get so damn clear about how we want to be. It's the state of being. And the mechanics don't matter so much of how you get to that state of being, because then you open up a whole world of possibilities and how to meet that state of being. So for you, it was ease, grace, and spiritual dignity. Can you define spiritual dignity? This is actually a newer term for me. So I imagine that some of the people in the audience would also feel like this would be a new term to them as well.
Yes, I've actually never defined it, but just thinking about it, it's only doing things that resonate with my soul, not putting myself in psychological, emotional, or spiritual danger, taking care of my inner self and my higher self to make sure that things are in alignment with my highest good and with my moral compass.
Wow, that's powerful. Because when you get so clear about how you want to be, and you get so clear about what that looks like in terms of the feeling inside, I should say feelings, we usually have more than one, around how you want to be, everything just really, I imagine this really helps you feel more contained and clear about your path.
It does, because you know if something resonates or not. Like it feels light or it feels heavy. It feels like something's really lighting up for you and you're like, yay, oh my God, it increases your energy and your vibration, or it doesn't. And to me, there's no neutral energy. Things are either uplifting or they're draining. And if somebody feels draining or a situation feels draining, at that turning point in my life, I then had the dignity to just walk away. And that's okay.
Yes, when we get really clear, I like to call that a truth barometer. We can really tap in to our bodies, and our bodies will tell us if it's a yes or no. And we're also human, because so sometimes it's not that clear yet. Yes. We have some lessons to learn through that, and I'm speaking from personal experience. But really, it does help to get more clear once we clear away the lessons that sometimes we need to learn first. The other piece, let's really zoom in on this. By the way, I'm going to just give you a shout out. You're not shy about sharing your age. And here's the thing, guys, when you go look up Rebecca Whitman, you're going to be like, no freaking way. She's not that age. How old are you, love?
I'm 49.
Like, I actually forgot that you're 49. I keep thinking we're like the same age. I'm 39. So you cannot tell. We're like 10 years in age difference. You look radiant. You literally practice what you preach with living and being embodied in these 7 pillars of abundance. I love your Facebook pictures with you and your partner. You guys, you can tell how much in love you are with each other. And I didn't actually know much about your story about your previous marriage. So yeah, it's pretty amazing to see where you are at now. So let's dive in, because I know that this is so much part of your message with teaching people, coaching people about the 7 pillars of abundance.
Yeah, so the spirituality, they're in order of importance. So the spirituality is number 1. And I'm a huge, huge advocate for having a morning practice to set yourself up, to get yourself plugged in, or as Abraham says, tuned in, tapped in, and turned on, so that you can. That. Yeah, I love that saying. So you can live your day from the overflow, from that grounded spiritual place. Whatever your spirituality is, it's really important to connect to that first thing in the morning. The second most important thing is your health. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're, in a hospital bed, you can't enjoy it. So health is wealth, and health is a form of abundance. People think, oh, I don't have any money, I'm broke. Well, are you healthy? Then you're abundant, because so many people are striving for health and they don't have it, especially during this time in a pandemic. So health is amazing. And I say to plan your day around exercise. And I know that you say body before business. It's very similar. But just to structure your schedule around your exercise. So fitness is a huge part of my lifestyle. The third thing is emotional. Now that goes before romance for a reason, because I have picked relationships from a not healed spot. So you attract who you are, not who you want. So then I picked people who were just exactly like me. You know, they were neurotic and angry and, you know, broken and had childhood trauma that they hadn't processed. So do the emotional work first. Get emotionally centered. Get emotionally healed. Find that childhood trauma. Go in and heal it.
Can you repeat that again? You just said a very powerful thing. You attract who you are and not who you want. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna emphasize that again. People,
write it down.
You attract who you are and not who you want when we are not healing ourselves. So it's really important to, and for me, I would put this as a perspective of loving ourselves deeply and wholeheartedly. And that means investing in ourselves to really do the healing work, to clear away whatever needs to be cleared, whether it's past life, current life, traumas, because that, at the very core of us, you know, we are souls having a human being experience. And so we need to learn these lessons. And if we keep attracting what we don't actually want, that is a mirror for us. So I love that this is third.
I love it too, because women are like, oh my God, you know, wherever I go, whether it's a bar or a party or an online dating site, I keep attracting the same guy and he's a narcissist and he's unavailable. And then I tell them, well, we need to work on your own emotional life and your own healing and how you talk to yourself. And then you want to keep attracting that guy over and over again. And that's exactly what happened to me. When I finally did the healing and started to love myself, I attracted someone who loved me. And it's been a beautiful experience and so new to me. So
probably more like there are three main types of relationships are codependent, and interdependent, and independent. And we ideally want to be interdependent. And most couples, research shows that even if they think they're interdependent, which is the most healthy form of a romantic, intimate relationship, most couples actually fall in the codependent because one or both partners are more codependent. And everything's always on a spectrum, of course. But I will admit that when my husband and I were on a couples retreat last year at this time in Mexico with our coach, he was really surprised. He's like, oh man, I don't want to admit this, but I totally am a little bit more codependent than I knew, that I was aware of, because we took this quiz about it. And so that was beautiful in that we could see, okay, let's look at how we got some work to do. We got like that up level. We get excited about personal development. So this wasn't like a quote unquote bad thing. You know, it is what it is. And our next up level is shifting that. And for me, I had been moving more from independence to interdependence. So yeah, it's been a really beautiful journey. And to say a year from today is we are a lot more interdependent. There's no such thing as perfect. We also are still in process.
That's beautiful. Yeah, the goal is absolutely interdependence. Two fully actualized beings come together and they create a greater sum than the individual parts. So that is I actually use that phrase in my book, interdependence. So that's beautiful.
Nice.
So yeah, romance comes after emotion, and then mental comes after romance, because I call it falling into a manhole. You don't want to fall into a manhole and like lose your interests and not cultivate your mind. You want to keep learning and taking classes and reading and growing. And there's so many great shows like your show, Rosalyn, and great podcasts and great YouTube, and great YouTube channels. And there's so much content out there right now. There's never been more personal growth and transformation content, or just reading autobiographies. Like, grow your mind, learn a new skill, learn to cook, learn a new language. It's so important to keep growing our minds.
Absolutely.
the next thing is social. So I love being around uplifting, high vibe, supportive women, which is why I love being a part of your tribe, Rosalyn. You have a wonderful community, and we're in an age where we want to build our immune systems up. And I like the saying that community builds immunity. Because
I'm going to repeat that. That is so good. Community builds immunity. Wow. Okay. I want you guys all to breathe that one in. Community builds immunity. And I love that so much because I am passionate about people. I'm passionate, and I'm very gifted at bringing people together to create tribe, to create authentic relationships. It's just something I naturally do. And thank you, love. And so I love that. It really does. There's so many people right now that crave. And honestly, I always get requests from women saying, like, how can I be, I'm craving more relationships, like girlfriends, tribe, community. How do I create that? How do I be part of something like that? And not necessarily may they want business coaching. And so, I've really been looking at, okay, I'm actually on a project right now building Soulful Social, and it is going to be a platform where it's going to be conscious community coming together. So I love this. I'm totally going to credit you for community builds immunity. It's so true.
It's so true. And you are such a great connector. And that is a gift, because a lot of people are lone wolfing it right now. I mean, people are isolated in their homes. They're quarantined. They can't even see their families. And they're just feeling very isolated. The suicide rates are up. Alcoholism is up. It's a really lonely time for a lot of people. So try to find a community. If you don't feel comfortable going in person, there's online communities, there's chat rooms, there's meetups, there's social media. Really try to find your tribe and connect. I love that you're starting your own, what is it called? Soulful what?
Soulful Social.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's an incredible way to connect people. But yeah, connect, because we were, when we were cavemen and cavewomen, we would connect around the campfire at night, and we would feel a part of something and tell stories. And it's not in our DNA to be alone all the time.
And I feel like that's almost like a lost art is coming through and you passing down some of those stories, or just really connecting within, and it might not so much formally, but casually, right? Really deeply connecting within ourselves and then amongst each other in tribe and community. So thank you for sharing that. And what is number 7?
Yay! Lucky number 7 is financial abundance.
Of course!
Everybody wants to put that first. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to make a ton of money, and then I'm going to hire a trainer, and then I'm going to get in shape, and then I'll hire a nutritionist, and then I'll get really healthy, and then I'll hire a dating coach, and then I'll be able to find my soulmate, and then, I'll go to all these fabulous parties and meet new friends. It's like, no, that's the last piece of the puzzle to come into play, because when you're happy and healthy and surrounded by awesome friends and learning things and stimulating your mind and spiritually fit, the money is going to magnetize to you, and it's just going to flow in.
1,000%. Yes. I love this. I did not realize that your 7 pillars were, and there's an importance in their order. And I really, really resonate with this order. And I love that you're saying financial last, because what does our society teach us? It's like you work hard, you do all these things so that you can have all this money, and then you can finally be happy. It's
exactly.
Or be worthy. And I feel like you and I have the same message. It's be, do, have. Choose to know how you want to be, who you want to be, and who you want to become first, and then create and do life and business from this place of who you authentically want to be, the experience of how you want to be, and then you can have what you desire. And money is something that will absolutely magnetize when you are in this very expansive state. You're in abundance, and abundance comes in all forms, and money just happens to be one of them. Rather than chasing the money, thinking that's going to be the thing that's going to make you happy, or the perfect body, or the perfect man, whatever that looks like.
Yes,
We need
and
to be
whatever
happy
you
with ourselves
chase,
first.
and whatever you chase, spiritually you push away. I mean, think of it as like chasing a butterfly. If you're in a field and you're chasing a butterfly, it's going to fly away. But if you sit still and you are in this beautiful energy, the butterfly might come and land on your shoulder, you know? So it's not a chasing energy that manifests money. It's a magnetic, being so happy and in love with life energy that magnetizes money.
You need to make a quote book. I am sure these are things that are in your book, and that you go deeper into these concepts. They are like, and just having a simple quote, like, whatever you chase, spiritually you will push away. Like, I'm going to hashtag that one. And like,
Okay, all right.
like, that is amazing. It's so true. It's so true. Because if we're chasing, we're in this lower vibration of wanting from almost like a desperate energy, when really all that we really need is already inside of us. So it's not coming home to ourselves first and getting connected with our soul, with our heart, aligning about how we want to be. I feel like that's like the big message here today.
Yes, it is about alignment, and I actually have a quiz where people can see which of these 7 areas are in alignment and which are out of alignment.
Yes.
So they can kind of have like a little snapshot. So we'll add that to the show notes.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll have you share the link at the end in case people are just listening and they don't have access to their show notes. So we're going to head into commercial. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about how you exactly help people walk them through these 7 pillars of abundance.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at OMTimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Okay, I'm having so much fun doing this podcast with you, Rebecca. It's
awesome.
So awesome to really dive in deeper, learn about the 7 pillars that you really help people walk through for the transformation. So I'd love for you to share about and you have a program called the Elegant Warrior Program. where you do walk your clients through these 7 pillars of abundance. Can you share a little bit about who your program is for? What are their biggest struggles or challenges? Because as people are listening, they might be able to identify, ooh, that's me.
Okay. Well, I help women go from burned out to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. So the people that would benefit are people who are just tired. They're feeling like they're pulled in so many directions. They feel like everybody else comes first, their spouse, their kids, their job, and they're neglecting their soul. They're neglecting their self-care. They are feeling just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to help them realign their life into these 7 pillars so they can live a life with resilience, grit, and grace. And they can just find their excitement again, find their why, find their life purpose. And I've had so many clients get huge transformations. Like some of them meet their soulmate, some of them lose 30 pounds, some of them were hoarders and they reorganize their house and declutter. It's just, they can have so many great results when they start living a life that is in balance.
Wow. And so you walk them through, I imagine, through the order of importance of these 7 pillars.
Yes. So it's a 7-week program, and each week we focus on one of these 7 pillars of abundance. And each week they have practical things that they can start applying right away to see major shifts in their life. So it's tips, it's tools, it's strategies, it's homework. And it's also a weekly group call where we come together and offer accountability and support. And it's an incredible program. It's absolutely life-changing. It's amazing how much your life can change in 7 weeks.
Wow. And it's just 7 weeks. Like, think about it, guys. In 7 weeks, you can literally be transformed. 7 weeks, that's not that long.
It's not that long at all.
Like, wow. And so what have you noticed in terms of the biggest transformations after your 7 weeks with your clients?
They are happier, they are calmer, they are feeling more energy, and they are just, I just see a shift. Like they just feel energetically so different. And I would say the number one transformation is they're confident, because with having these 7 pillars, they kind of have a framework to where they can live their life, where they know, if they're feeling out of alignment, okay, which of these 7 areas is off kilter, and they have, strategies and ways of being to get it back in alignment.
That is powerful. I imagine their perspective of life, because everything is neutral until we put meaning on it, and how we do that is based on our belief system. So their beliefs, their unconscious beliefs, really shift so that they see the world with new eyes when they're approaching their relationship with themselves, with others in their lives. I imagine they're attracting different partners, romantic partners, or if they're already in a relationship, improving those relationships.
Absolutely. I mean, they're really, and they're experiencing more financial abundance as well. So they're finding, because they're different, they're attracting different relationships and different friends and different financial opportunities. And it is a huge game changer. So that's why I'm having it in the beginning of the year, so you can set yourself up for 2021 with a lot of momentum, so you can start manifesting what you want in your life, whether it's a new relationship, a new job, a business opportunity, more health, more energy, more balance, more boundaries, being able to put yourself first. That is a huge one too.
Oh, you basically describes, I would say, definitely, I think it's safe to say, I don't know what the statistic is, but I would say it's safe to say more than half of the women in North America. Right? Like, how much are we conditioned to put ourselves last, our businesses last, We just really are conditioned to feel guilty if we put ourselves first. And this is not new for anyone to hear, I'm sure. Put yourself first, right? Fill up your cup first. You can't pour from an empty cup. I'm sure none of that is new for anyone else to hear. And have you actually shifted? Are you actually putting yourself first? Are you actually implementing what you know to be true, or you're hoping to be part of your new belief system? Or are you continuing with the old beliefs, the limiting beliefs? If you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling like you're not magnetizing, you're not manifesting the things that you truly want, not what your subconscious wants, not what the inner child wants, but what you truly want to feel truly abundant, it's time to get connected with Rebecca. And we will, the links are in the show notes, but we will also have Rebecca share after our guided meditation how you can lean in and get connected with her more. So let's start to shift into a short guided meditation to really help you tap in further into your elegant warrior, into your version of what abundance feels like for you. So I'm going to invite you to start to take your attention inward. You can close your eyes or have a soft gaze. And then follow your breath in, saying hello to your internal world. When was the last time you checked in with yourself to say hello? No judgment, just noticing. And then on your next inhale, breathe into the areas of your body that need more expansion, more space, more breath. That might be your side body, your heart, the back of your heart, your throat, your mind. And then taking a little bit longer on an exhale, just really breathing out anything that doesn't serve or support. And so notice what arises when I ask this question. What's the first thing that comes up? What do you want? Notice the first answer that came up. And so it may surprise you. It may be a confirmation. It might be, new awareness. So stay with that right now, with what came up, what arises, with what you truly want. Not what anyone else thinks. If you knew that you could claim what you want without any negative consequences, without people judging, rejecting, whatever that looks like, all that shit that our heads say. If you knew that there were no consequences for you claiming, putting your stake in the ground, saying, this is what I want, how would you be showing up? What would you be doing? Who would you be hanging out with? What would your romantic life look like? What would your financial life look like? How would you be thinking, being, doing, having? See it. Now feel it in your body. You may be feeling lightness, tingling. And if there's any noise of the ego coming up, that's okay. Just say thank you. Might look like the but. Yeah, right. I can't have that. That's not even possible. Any of that, those voices, just put them on a cloud, let them float away. They're not serving or supporting. We didn't have those voices when we were young children, just in our glory of imagination. And here's the thing, my love. Your body cannot tell the difference between thinking about something versus being there. So where your attention goes, your energy flows. Focus on what you want. Focus on how you want to be and feel right now. Feel into the feelings that feel so good, the sensations that feel so right for you and your body. Might feel lightness, solidness, groundedness, tingling, whatever that is for you, that's like, ooh, that's spirit speaking to me, working through me. Feel into your inner warrior. You're moving with grit, you're moving with grace and elegance. You're feeling beautiful, balanced, and abundant. Nothing is going to get in the way of you continuing to feel this flow. Breathing in, pura kira tu kua, kira ti kira tu kura ti kira tua. Pura kira ti kira tu kura tia. Clearing anything that's in the way of the path of your abundance. Kura ti kira tua, kira ti, kura ti kira tua. Breathing in deeper, expanding, expanding, expanding. Kura ti kira tua. Breathing out. Aligning all 7 energy centers, your earth star chakra and your star chakra up above your crown chakra. Breathing in. Breathing out anything that doesn't serve or support. Just feeling into the sensations right now that this can be your reality. This can be your everyday foundation in how you want to be, feel, and then imagine creating and doing life from this place in business. Imagine being so magnetizing that all these beautiful opportunities come your way with ease, flow. Imagine. Breathing this in. And then breathing out your beautiful desires out into the world to create the energetic manifestation of it now. And so it is. Beautiful. So just hang out with your experience. And then when you're ready, just very slowly and gently find a way to complete, knowing that you can always come back home to this place. And then when you're ready, just start to wiggle your fingers and toes and open your eyes. You might want to blink a few times. Beautiful. All right, Rebecca, love. I know people are dying to know more about you and connect with you. Please let them know how they can do that.
Absolutely. So, well, you can get my book on Amazon. You can get it for free if you have an Audible membership, or it's less than $10 an American on Amazon. How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time by Rebecca Whitman. My website, where you can take the free Where Are You Out of Alignment quiz, is Rebecca, Rebecca, Elizabeth, ELIZABETH Whitman, WHITMAN.com. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rebecca E. Whitman. And that's how to keep in touch with me. I can't wait to meet your wonderful listeners. Everyone you introduced me to is just fabulous and spiritual and awesome. So I'm so excited to connect with them.
Beautiful. And you almost forgot to share your podcast. So let's
give
a shout out to your podcast too.
Yes,
you guys are like loving what Rebecca says. You need to listen to her.
You've got to listen to the podcast every week. So the theme of the podcast is I interview an expert on one of these 7 pillars. And Roz was one of the experts as far as financial.
I'll add that to the show notes too.
Absolutely. So it's called Balance, the Balanced, Beautiful, Abundant Show by Rebecca Whitman.
Love it. Thank you so much for being here. I certainly hope, listeners, that you got so many golden nuggets. Please do connect with Rebecca if you feel called. Until next week, have a beautiful, balanced, and abundant week.
Thank you.